Hello, thank you for joining me in my study. We've been exploring the question of how Christ's substitutionary punishment serves to satisfy the demands of God's justice. And last time I reflected on the fact that the objection that Christ's dying for our sins does not satisfy divine justice is a rather puzzling one, since God, as the moral legislator, judge, and executor, is the one who determines what satisfies his justice. So isn't it up to him what satisfies divine justice? Now, that account might seem to imply a view of satisfaction known as acceptation. The medieval theologian John Duns Scotus argued that God can choose to accept any sacrifice for sin as meeting the demands of his justice. And penal substitution theorists have not been sympathetic to acceptation accounts. On that view, it would seem that God could have accepted the animal sacrifices of the Old Testament as satisfactory for the demands of his justice. But in that case, it would not be true, as the author of the book of Hebrews says, that it is impossible that the blood of bulls and goats should take away sin. On acceptation theories, it would be perfectly possible for God to accept that as meeting the demands of divine justice. So penal substitution theorists tend to assume that retributive justice, as we know and understand it, belongs to the divine nature, and that therefore God could not have simply accepted any sort of payment as satisfactory to the demands of his justice. But then that makes the question all the more acute. What is it about punishing Christ for our sins that meets the demands of God's retributive justice? And that question we will begin to explore in more detail the next time we meet together.